You stand for everything we resent.
Fuck your privilege!
This isn't fair.
All right, so today I want to speak about my Escapism series. The purpose of this series, it will be preparing us for jealousy and social hostility. So in today's society, conversations about beauty, featurism, and lookism are often misunderstood or avoided, right? However, these realities shape how individuals are treated in workplaces, schools, family dynamics, and even religious communities. My Escapism series is being created to address a specific issue that many people silently experience. Jealousy directed towards those who benefit from their looks, from their features, whether they have a nice face, nice body, or a skin tone that is socially favored by the American standard of beauty. This series exists to prepare individuals for the emotional and social consequences that can rise when lookism triggers insecurity in others, right? Because like I've said before, and I say again, where are the attractive people? So many people benefit from featurism, and these features can create opportunities, but they can also provoke resentment. Jealousy often arises when others feel they do not possess similar advantages of someone who benefits from their looks. Rather than confronting their own insecurities, some individuals will project their frustration onto those who appear to benefit from appearance-based privilege, and they will make this person's life a living hell, unfortunately. So we know that jealousy does not exist in only one environment. It surfaces in professional settings, school, family homes, and religious congregations. In many cases, jealousy is not expressed openly. Instead, a lot of these jealous experiences are happening in the dark, where people can't catch on to the conflict. Where people can't catch the person who subtly tries to exclude this person, falsely accuse this person of being something that is not true, or attempting to discredit this person's character at its most extreme. Jealousy has become an effort to eliminate a person socially or professionally. And sadly, some people have successfully become skilled at manipulating environments in order to remove those they feel threatened by. I speak from personal experience. I consider myself who has been targeted by jealousy. For example, when I was working at Kohl's retail store, the guy who let me come into the orientation process was a male, and everything appeared positive. However, after 5 days, I was dismissed from the position. The issue was not my job performance. It was underlying tension that stemmed from the manager, who was a fat white woman. And she had evil energy. She gave me very Baphomet energy, meaning that you could tell she do wicked shit. She had the hierarchy in the workplace. So in situations like this, workplace hierarchies can become unstable, especially if they feel threatened by another employer. So if no one is checking what this manager is doing on a daily basis, a lot of times they can get away with a lot of stuff behind closed doors because no one is watching them closely. So while I cannot fully understand her motives towards me, which I really think she was a hating ass bitch, the sudden shift in treatment reflects a pattern I observe repeatedly, that when insecurity overrides professionalism, fairness is often compromised. You get what I'm saying? This is why the Escapism series is necessary, because when a person benefits from any type of featurism and lookism, things happen quickly. They're the most visible. People notice they benefit from even hair texture, skin tone, body type, that's very nice. People automatically recognize this person. And because jealousy is impulsive and emotionally reactive, it often catches the one being targeted off guard because it is rooted in another person's schizophrenic, hyperfixation, insecurity rather than their logic. Once jealousy takes over somebody, possesses somebody, logic is gone. So when someone is unaware of how jealousy operates, they might internalize that rejection or confusion instead of recognizing the broader social dynamic at play. Another major influence behind this series is the historical example of Harriet Tubman, which I feel like people who benefit from some type of featurism and lookism is going back into a slavery trope, because it's like we are being bothered and targeted because of people who feel ugly. Like, what's crazy about evil, ugly, evil, average people is that they want to project their feelings onto us when we don't have anything to do with them. And it's really important that we separate from what they got going on. Their thinking, the way they do stuff, the way they narrate life, everything because they are a fucking issue, right? And this is also why I feel like God is about to close the doors on this world, because ultimately they can't understand what they're doing wrong and they don't want to. They don't want to, and God knows that. So Tubman freed herself and later returned to help others escape oppressive systems. Her story represents strategic detachment from environments driven by hate and injustice. While my circumstances are not comparable in that scale, the principle remains relevant. When an environment becomes unsafe due to resentment, hostility, or bias, it is sometimes necessary to disengage strategically rather than remain trapped in confusion. Because a lot of times I remember when I used to talk to attractive people back then, and like over the decades, people who benefit from featurism have been through a lot of things. Some of them been sex trafficked, some of them been in prostitution, some of them been in abusive relationships. And I'm saying, like, a lot of times what we choose to engage in, to disengage from all this jealousy, all this evil that's happening worldwide, the decision we choose on how to deal with jealousy does matter. Because it's like, for me, I went to religion. I never will regret that. And I used to be in my room praying day and night about beauty warfare and all this evil and all this targeting. And the thing about it, we're at a point where there's no common ground no more. So if there's no common ground, then that means the darkest of the darkest things only have to occur out of this. And yeah, someone's going to listen to me and be like, whatever, but a lot of people have told me whatever. And then they come calling me saying, like, asking me questions, asking for help. Like God says, the fool never listens. After living in this society for 32 years as a mixed woman in America, I have witnessed and experienced enough to understand that this topic on jealousy requires open discussion. And this impact of jealousy and targeting is serious, affecting employment, mental health, social standing, and financial stability. So the purpose of the Escapism series is not to promote superiority or division. Instead, it aims to equip individuals with awareness. When people understand how jealousy operates, they are less likely to be blindsided by it. And they can develop emotional discipline, strategic boundaries, and exit plans when necessary. Escapism in this context does not mean avoidance of reality. It means recognizing when a situation is unhealthy and choosing a path that preserves dignity, safety, and long-term growth. So, in conclusion, jealousy is a social force that many people underestimate. People think talking about beauty politics is shallow, but like I said, there are some people who are not alive due to no one wanting to listen to them, due to people dismissing them. And for those who benefit from featurism and lookism, things can manifest quickly and unexpectedly. By creating this series, I hope to provide clarity, preparation, and encouragement. So awareness is not weakness. It is protection and sometimes the most powerful response to hostility. It is not confrontation, but strategic departure.